What's going on, guys? This is Damien from The Lookout, and I am here with your pre-release guide for Fusion World. What should you play? Which deck should you play? What's even the pre-release? What's the format and everything? I'm gonna break all of these down for you today, but before we begin this video, huge shout out to the Coffee Club, our lovely patrons. These are our $2 and up patrons. They buy us coffee, they keep this crazy content grind going, and guys, thanks a lot for your support. If you wish to join the Coffee Club, link to our Patreon is in the description below. And I think that's about everything. Roll the video! As with all of our videos, let's start with a breakdown. So this is your ultimate pre-release guide. I'm gonna give you the event breakdown so you know when is the pre-release, what's the format, where to find it, and how to register. I know that there's a lot of people who are still wondering how to even register for these events and where can you even find them. Which decks should you play? We will go over this. We are also linking our ultimate super detailed guide to every single one of them in the description below, and we'll just wrap it up with a summary. Let's go! Okay, let's start with our event guide. So Fusion World pre-release is finally here. It's happening this weekend. The game is almost out. It's gonna be out tomorrow. So when is the pre-release? The pre-release period will be from tomorrow, from the 16th of February until the 23rd of February. The format is going to be a starter deck tournament, a single starter deck tournament. So you can use only one starter deck. How much will it cost? It's about $20 to $35 or euros. Some stores might charge you more. I saw some which charge absurd prices, like $45. It should not be $45, but hey. Anyway, it should be around 20 to 30. But all of this info is useless if you don't know how to register. So let's talk about this. Where can you play? Where can you play? So here's what you need to do. Go on your phone and download the Bandai TCG Plus app. It's in the App Store for both Android and iOS. I believe that it's for both. So download the app. And now what you need to do is when you open it, when you click start, you will find the games menu. You select Fusion World. Then at the bottom of the screen you will have event search. Go to event search, enter your country and the event date as shown on the image to the right. So just enter the region and enter February 16th as the start date. You don't need to enter the end date for the event. What's next? So if you have done everything correctly, you should be seeing this screen to the left. Of course, I have blurred out the name and the addresses near me, but you should be seeing this. Now the final step is just picking an event and hitting apply. If the apply button is white, like on the one below, you can't apply. That means that the event is either full or it's been cancelled or whatever. So it needs to be the reddish apply button. You must apply through the app. Now, 99% of stores do this through the app. There's always a slim chance that it won't be through the app, but usually it is for these official pre-release events, store celebrations and stuff like that. All information such as the event start time, the location, everything else will be provided to you on the app once you have selected the event. Let's talk about event prizes. What do you get at this event? So there are two different types of pricing. First is participation prizes. That's one copy of the Goku to the left. The furthest to the left, the green forecast. I mean, they're both the same, but still. And one promotional pack. The winner gets the gold foil version. That's the one to the right. You can see some slight differences between the two. So only the winner gets this one. Now, to answer the question, are these cards legal for the event? Because you will likely get them before the event starts. At some places you get them as soon as you come to the event physically. No. Not for this event. They're legal usually in Fusion World. So if you go to the locals or some other tournament, they should be legal. They're perfectly fine promo cards. but you can't use them for the event, even if you get them before round 1 starts. Let's talk about event rules. So here is the basic rules outline. The format is best of 1. You play just one game every single round. The winner of that one game is the winner. It's not elimination, it's Swiss. So even if you lose, you still get to play for the rest of the tournament. The matches are 20 minutes, and then if you haven't ended the game in 20 minutes, you have 3 turns or 5-minute overtime extension. So it's either first 3 turns, and then turn 3 is the last one, and then overtime ends, or it is until 5 minutes run out. Usually it's like 5 minutes, at least in Masters, but I believe that in Fusion World it can be just 3 turns. What's the number of rounds? I can't tell you that because I don't know. That depends on the amount of players at your local event, but it's usually up to 4 rounds on 16 players. These events are capped to 16, so it should be around about 4 rounds, up to 4. What do you play with? You play with a single starter deck. Speaking of which, let's talk about the starter decks. Starter decks, there are 4 of them. Blue Vegeta, red Goku, green Broly, and yellow Frieza. And this is a single starter deck format. So what does that mean? What are the rules? You can only use a single starter deck. Unfortunately, you can't combine 2. Unfortunately. Otherwise, some of these would have been much better. Each deck is luckily ready to play out of the box. This is a standard practice in card games. Where can you get these decks? So the store will have them on sale for the event. That's actually in the rules. That's how you participate at the event. You show up at the store, you say, okay, I'm here. You pay for the deck, you pay for the event. It should all be in one price, and then you go and compete. However, please keep this in mind. This will be very important. There might not be enough decks of one color, especially Frieza, because Frieza is the best one in this format. So there might be a chance that you show up to the event and you want to play Frieza, for example, and they just don't have any more Frieza decks. Other players which came first, maybe it's first come first served, maybe it's when you've signed up. It all depends on the specific store. Maybe you won't get the specific deck that you want, unfortunately. But that's why we're gonna go over all of them. So which deck is the right choice for you? That's a good question. Let's check them out. Let's start with the best one. So we will do this like best to worst. Frieza deck. Is Frieza the right choice for you? What's Frieza all about? Let's do it like this. So Frieza is all about switching your opponent's cards to rest mode and then restanding your blockers at the end of the turn to defend yourself from attacks. So blockers can jump in front of attack for the leader. So that's what Frieza does. He has big blockers, big beat sticks. He attacks the opponent with them, and then at the end of the turn he can restand like 2 of them. So yeah, that's a very strong strategy. Is it good in the format? Yeah, Frieza is by far the best one. By far the best one in this format. Outside of it, no. But in this format, by far the best. He's exceptionally strong. If you wish to learn how to play it to prepare for the event, go click on the video with this thumbnail. Link is also in the description below. We have super in-depth guides, the ultimate guides for every single one of these starter decks. Go check out the link in the description. Let's talk about Vegeta. So is Vegeta the right choice for you? Well, it's the second best deck, and Vegeta is all about hitting your opponent with huge attackers as long as you have 7 or less in hand. That's the gimmick. 7 or less is the threshold, and as long as you're hitting it, you get major buffs. For example, your leader on your turn can become 35k power leader. That's absurd. That's super strong. It's like boss monster level of power. But you need to have 7 or less. So you're playing on a lower hand size, but you're compensating with buffs. Also, you have very good removal tools. You have amazing extra cards. Gallic Gun and Final Flash are phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Should you play this deck? Is this a good deck in the format? Yeah, Vegeta is very good. If you can't get Frieza, you go get Vegeta. Vegeta is without a doubt the second best one. And of course, as it is with all of these decks, we have a super in-depth guide. Go check it out. It's either in the description below, or you can go to the channel and find the video with this thumbnail. Now let's check out the starter Goku deck. Goku is the face of the red deck, and this deck it's cool. It is cool. It's weaker than the first two, of course, but it is pretty cool actually. The more you look into it, the more you see how this one can be very good. What's it all about? It's a mid-range deck with a leader that can buff a battle card once on each player's turn. So he has the clause activate battle. Once per turn, he can give one of your battle cards plus 5k. If you use this strategically, this deck requires a lot of strategy when it comes to using this ability. But if you use it correctly, you can either hit certain thresholds to make comboing out of your attacks much more difficult, or you can use it to save your own cards when opponent swings into them. There's a lot of things to go through when it comes to Goku, that's why we made the guide. Is this a good deck in the format? Goku is a solid choice. It is a solid choice. I'm not sure whether or not you can actually win with it. I think that Frieza is still by far the superior deck, but Goku requires a lot of strategy, and if you can pull it off, if you sequence everything correctly, if you predict your opponent's combo power, if you count well, you can perform very, very well with starter Goku. Finally, let's talk about Broly. So, what's Broly all about? First, what's Broly all about? I don't want to undersell Broly for you. Broly is all about ramping very fast. That's what Green does. Green ramps. And Broly has a 25k baseline leader, which is massive. He is so big. He is huge. And you have good payoffs for ramping. However, is this a good deck in the format? No. It's the worst one. Broly is by far the worst choice, unfortunately. Now, the problem is not the deck itself. I mean, not the leader and the archetype and cards in it. The problem is that it's a single deck. And Broly lacks his key cards, and you only get 2 copies of your ramp payoffs. Both of your payoffs, the 5-cost Prerelease and the 8-cost Broly, are super rares, and you get only 2 of them in the deck. And unlike in other decks, you don't have big strong cards until you get to your big payoffs, so it hurts a lot. If you had, for example, a combination of 2 decks, and now you had 4 of your payoffs, and you had more consistency, because Prerelease is your only ramp on turn 5, other than the Destructive Strength extra card, Broly would have been much better. Broly is one of the best decks in the game, I believe, in constructed format. But unfortunately, the starter deck isn't constructed very well. And because of it, Broly sucks in this format, unfortunately. If you wish to learn how to play it, we do have a guide, but I don't recommend taking this one for the pre-release event. One last thing, guys, and that is deck codes. So in each deck, you will get a code. What is the code for? It's for unlocking the deck, getting the deck in the digital version. So you go to the pre-release event, you get like Broly, for example. You get home, you enter the code in the digital client, and then you get the Broly deck, just digitally. So you're getting double value for these products. How do you get more codes? Well, only one code comes in a deck, and that's the code for the deck. But if you buy packs, you will get codes in packs as well, which you redeem to get digital packs. They're not gonna be the same as the physical ones. They're randomly generated. The decks aren't. They are always the same. But that's a way to get more digital items. It's pretty cool. Whenever you buy something, you get double value. That's awesome. Before we end the video, let's quickly jump into the summary. Now you should be prepared for the pre-release event. You can check out our starter deck guides, link is in the description below, or just find them on the channel. They will help you learn and fully master the deck of your choice. Remember to keep your deck codes and redeem them later to unlock digital versions of these decks. And if you ask me, in quick summary, which decks should I get, it goes like this. The best one is Frieza, then Vegeta, then Goku, and then unfortunately Broly. However, the last two, well, they can be changed. You know, some people might argue that Broly is better than Goku, vice versa. So take the last two with a bit of a grain of salt, but the first two are set in stone. And guys, now that we've gone through everything, one last thing, and it's the most important one. Have fun. At the end of the day, it's a card game, and we're just going to these pre-release events to meet people and to have fun. So I hope you have fun at your event, and actually I hope you win. I hope you have fun, and I hope you win your event. That's it for the video. Let me know in the comments below, which deck will you play? Which is the starter deck of your choice? So unfortunately I won't be at a pre-release event because I don't have a single one nearby. That's what the TCG app told me. But if I were to compete, I would go with Frieza. The deck that I would buy not for competing is Broly because I love green. But yeah, let me know which starter deck do you plan on playing. I read all of your comments, I try to respond to everything. I love our little community. And guys, while you're here, please share the video around. It helps other players. Hit those like and subscribe buttons, help us get to 4K subs when I'm gonna give away a booster box. This has been Damien from The Lookout, and I'll see all of you in the next video.